Good morning, July the 1st, 2022. How the year is just flying by. How my life is just flying by. 7:18 a.m. Time needs to slow down. Time for the monthly Votamort report, where I talk about how many miles I drove and how much money it saved. So here's the picture I took last night. Right here is the month, how many miles I drove this month. I'm thinking about making an Excel file to track this better. I have an Excel file that tracks miles per gallon and just overall miles, but that's it. I need to get more detailed. But as you see, I've now got 52,000 miles, and I drove 565 miles last month. And again, I hate the way the computer tops out at 250 miles per gallon. They should have wrote the software where it tops out at 999. And if not too difficult, it should have topped out at 9,999 miles per gallon. But perhaps that fourth digit would have caused a problem. I'm not a software engineer. I don't know. But you can't tell me it's been that difficult to make it where we go up to 100 to 999 at least. But anyway, 250 plus miles to the gallon. But here's our stats for last month. 565 miles, a quarter of a gallon of gas estimated. There's no way I can know for sure because it will not tell me. I wish it would. I wish I had a button you could hit and it would track how much gas you burned until you reset it. And I think a quarter of a gallon is probably more than I used. Am I talking about gas savings? I always undershoot it because I don't want to get accused of inflating my savings. And I don't want to inflate my savings. If anything, I want to err on the side of caution. And the gas cost at $4.34 a gallon, $1.09. 4 1/3 miles per kilowatt hour estimated again. Again, there's no place where you can set it and let it run all month, which I think is goofy. If you charge it all the way up, it'll let you know how many kilowatt hours you've burned since until you charge it fully again. But I'm pretty sure I burned about 4 1/3 miles per kilowatt hour. It's about what I used. Even going to work, which is 24 miles away. And out of that 24 miles, I'm guessing about 14 of all those miles, 14 to 16, are on the highway. And most of that time, I'm doing 60 miles an hour. The rest of the time is in town. Even there, I'll get over 4 miles per kilowatt hour this time of year. 4.1, 4.2. In town, I'm getting 4.5, 4 3/4. I really think I'm getting more like 4.5. But again, I want to make sure I err on the side of caution. So we're going to call it 4 1/3. So you might only get 4 1/3 if you drive like a horse's ass from stop sign to stop sign, which I don't do. 130 2/3 kilowatt hours burned simply by taking the miles and dividing by the miles per kilowatt hour. That's $12.23 in electricity. And we have solar panels now. So I could argue it didn't cost anything because I've got to make that solar panel payment no matter what. It's not like the old days of electricity where you paid for what you used. I got to pay the same amount every month now. So I got to make that payment anyway. So one could argue the electricity is free. But if I did that, someone could argue, well, your air conditioner is free. So I'm going to continue counting electricity costs as though, this ain't spelled right, electricity, yeah it is. This looks strange for some reason, but that's right, isn't it? Electricity. I think that city stood out. But anyway, electricity, it just don't look right. But anyway, and also I'm going to call it $12.23 of electricity. That's what, besides, this is more about what it costs the average person if you buy one, not what it actually cost me. And most people don't have solar panels, especially in Arkansas. So the total cost, $13.32. Cost per mile, 2.4 cents a mile. Cost $13 to drive this car 565 miles. Now let's look at it compared to a gas car. The U.S. government says the average gas car gets 24 miles to the gallon. They would have burned 23.6 gallons to go, I should have wrote this down, 565.7 miles. Let's do that. Oh, crap. No! There we go. All right. 565.7 miles. 24 miles to the gallon. 23.6 gallons of gas they would have burned. And this is funny. When I was training to be a truck driver, and I was with my trainer out over the road, I told him one of the first days, I'm like, man, we got to stop and get gas. In a big, pulling a 53-foot trailer, an 18-wheeler truck. Oh, my gosh, he got upset. Gas, gas. This truck runs on fuel. You either say diesel or fuel. Don't you ever say gas. And I thought it was such a ridiculous thing to get upset about. I purposely said gas the next time, too, and he threw a fit again. And every time I'd call it gas just because he got so upset. He finally gave up on me and let me call it gas. But anyway, gas cost $102.30. Cost per mile, 18.1 cents per mile would have cost. The Volt savings, $88.98 I saved driving my car, Voldemort, over the average American car. $88.98. Well, I said American car, but I meant car in this country, not necessarily made here. Savings per mile, 15.7 cents per mile. Now, if you're the average driver that drives 1,200 miles a month, you would have saved $188.40 driving Voldemort over your average car. That's a huge savings. Huge savings. So what do you think? Do you have one and do you get excited about the gas saving? Do you have one and you don't care about the gas savings? Are you the type where you say, yeah, but the cool factor is 0 and you're worried about the cool factor and you'd rather drive your Challenger, Charger, whatever you want to drive, your big honking 4x4 truck that gets 18, 20 miles to the gallon? There are people that I don't care if gas got to $10 a gallon. They're still going to drive what they want to drive. There are other people that start thinking, man, I need to start saving some money, and they don't mind driving one of these. There are seriously adults, and this is so funny, I think. There are seriously adults that would be embarrassed to show up at work with an electric car or a plug-in car. They would be embarrassed. Which, if you're under 21, 22, I can see that. Because I was easily embarrassed when I was a teenager. As an adult, I don't give a crap. I don't care what the guy at the red light next to me thinks about my car. I seriously couldn't care less. The people at work, I don't give a rip what they think about the car I drive. I really don't. But there are people that do. And there are others that just don't care. And there are some that drive the cool cars just because they like them, not because they're trying to impress anybody. Just because you're driving a cool car, as they say, doesn't mean you do it to impress people. I'm not trying to say that. But believe me, a lot of them do. And there's multiple factors why we drive what we drive. I actually like this car. I don't just drive it just for the savings. I like the quietness of it. I like a lot of things about electric cars. My God, have I gotten off subject. See, I bloviate so easily. So easily. I'm a blatherskite, just like I said in the video a couple times ago. Blatherskite, a long-winded person who doesn't make much sense. That's me. I'm going to shut up now. Oh well. Off subject McFink. That's what y'all should call me. Bloviating McFink. Whatever. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. You have a great day. The night I met my wife, 1990, we were at work. And finally, after a few hours of working and talking, I asked her, I said, don't you ever say anything? And she replied with, don't you ever shut up? I tell people that come in to see me, they don't come in to see me, but they come into the big box retailer I work at. And we'll start talking, people I don't really know, and we'll just yak. And eventually I'll tell them, I'll say, man, I gotta leave you alone, or you're gonna start hiding when you coming in here and you see me. You're gonna be like, man, there's that cripple guy. It's Doc. We don't want to talk to him. He'll talk to us all day. I tell people that, and sometimes I'm serious. I think it may be true. People hide from me because they know I just won't shut up once they start talking to me. I love to talk. There is nothing better than good conversation with good friends. There's nothing better than good conversation with strangers, people you don't even know. You could put me in a room with 100 people that I do not know, and it wouldn't bother me one bit. I'd have the time of my life. You put my wife in a room with 100 people she didn't know, she's gonna go sit at a table and a chair in a corner, and if somebody talks to her, she'll talk to them, but she's not going to engage them. She's just not going to.